I'm good. I'm thrilled to be in this show. I think it's first time I actually join in umbraCoffee.
Oh yeah, maybe. Besides the live presences on events, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Of course, the reason we have you is because it's been a pretty big week, quite a lot of news, kind of a bit of an overload, because we kicked off Monday with the Umbraco HQ New Year
reception. Yes,
live stream meeting. If we are using more keywords, but it was great to see all the plans from shared straight from the HQ. So maybe as we have you here, you can do some kind of summary and recap of what was shared, what was discussed during the reception for everyone who maybe missed it. But of course, we will put the link to the recording as well here.
Yeah. Well, we have. I think it's third year we do it, and I guess it's not a real Umbraco online New Year's reception if we don't have some kind of technical issues. Despite that, this year I actually think we executed better than last year, at least, where we I think we managed to have almost 500 attendees in the live cast last year during the session. So we changed to the same channel as you guys, YouTube live stream. And I think there was about 350, 70 online viewers. And I can see now that we just had 1,300 views on that. So that was pretty good. Mm-hmm. But the idea of the New Year's reception is to just in half an hour, look back at the year that went by, in this case, 2019. And then the other half spent on, of course, the exciting things, look ahead and what's coming. So this year we of course had a lot of things on our mind looking back, but the two major releases was obviously version 8. How that came through, we had a few numbers on it, quite impressive. We already had more than 150,000 downloads of that version. And then, of course, also mentioning Umbraco Heartcore, our headless version of Umbraco. And we also came around our strong community, which we've been working a lot with. I think the important thing was also around the launch of version 8 that we learned from it. And community-wise, on behalf of the launch, we know that we didn't do well on including communities. So we created this package team last year, and we also saw numbers from the existing PR team and doc team, which is really impressive numbers. They have produced.
We're talking almost double the number of pull requests to the actual call. I think it was 1,000. Just over 1,320 pull requests to the call.
21.
Yeah,
to be exact.
1321.
And that's compared to like 680 or so last year.
693, yeah. Impressive. But
I think I have it written, so
it's due to that we actually do something about it, and people can see that the contribution works now. That they are being handled, and there is feedback on it, and they are being merged.
Yeah, that was a really impressive graph. So you showed kind of a graph that showed the number of pull requests to the core and the number that were merged. And what actually we can see is whilst the number of pull requests has increased maybe almost 5-fold over the past 3 years, the rate at which they get merged is actually keeping up. And that's thanks to the amazing efforts of these community teams you mentioned.
It is, most definitely. And hopefully we will see a big impact on the package team as well. Of course, not on pull requests the same way, but hopefully we will get the community involved a lot more in our upcoming releases as well.
It was a big takeaway for me, actually, hearing you and Niels discuss how maybe within HQ you've been working on 8 for so long, and a lot of these conversations were going on internally but actually externalizing those and communicating those with the community, getting feedback could maybe there could maybe have been more of that. And it seems like 2020 we're on a path for that really becoming a big focus with all these community teams and new initiatives.
Yeah, especially also to have the big picture and the temperature of the community, having these roundtable discussions, which we launched in the second half of last year. We'll continue that in next year. So we really want to engage with the community, but we also realize it is a hard thing to both communicate, growing, maturing, and then keeping this up to date. So we are having a lot of focus from all Umbraco on the community and making it stronger and keeping it close, despite we are growing. All of us.
There's also a lot of additional challenges for the teams formed, because it's not right now only about the specific areas, but the product itself, which is not only about the PRs, but new technologies extending Umbraco to fetch the market expectations, and it's very exciting to see how it forms around the Umbraco organization, and how it really connects and reuses the model really well formed around those teams to create new teams. So more teams, more collaboration, more effective.
Yes. And we can also see from the numbers that that a lot of new people are joining the community, which hasn't been working with Umbraco previously, and is new to the community. And it's really, really great to see that the community is growing as well.
I saw the statistic with 8 new meetups were launched in 2019, which is really good.
And Niels joked that there's 122 events in total, and one every 3 days, and even too much for you, Callum.
I've given up. But that's a lie. I went and checked. I managed 34 of them.
Wow,
34.
That's like a quarter.
That is impressive, Callum.
It's yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, we were always mentioning it, that you are everywhere, and it's great for every group to have you, because every new group, and especially newly formed groups, are always learning lessons from people who sees the other meetups and who done those.
I enjoy going to the newly formed groups the most, actually, because there's people maybe you've not met before. They might be newer to Umbraco. And you can just get to learn their experience, and also they often, like in 6 months' time, it kind of cycles back round, and they'll turn up at a meetup in London or something, and then you already know them, someone they know. It's nice.
Or they will already have a connection point on CodeGuard or any other big event, because they will already knew someone. That's good to see. So Callum, a lot of meetups still to visit. So
oh yeah.
Callum, I also guess that you must also experience this with a lot of new people involving with the community as you get around.
Yeah, definitely. There's a definite sense of a lot of new faces in the community. I think even in producing the news for this every week, we are starting to see some new names crop up, which is great. People releasing packages, people doing contributions, or just engaging on Twitter and Slack. It's definitely got a sense of things are growing.
Okay. Everyone is growing, and Anders, we have you here, so maybe you can also tell everybody about how Umbraco as a company grown over the years and changed over the years.
Well, right now I'm standing in our new office surroundings here in the HQ. As those of you that has visited our HQ, we have a beautiful building with a lot of heart and soul in it, and we're not leaving that. But we just can't fit those people in anymore. Last year, I think we did the count that we had 18 new colleagues over last year, and it doesn't seem to stop.
It was joking about having to get like a night shift in so people could
or desks on top of the engines.
Yes. But to get some more space for our D team, especially, which is by far the largest team in Umbraco, then we decided to move my team, the suits sales team, partner management, out of our building, and just across the street we have another friendly company called House of Code, which has some available room for us. We also moved our Coma, which is our marketing, online marketing department out of the office, and that just leaves some more space for growing in the old building. And it's a nice flexible way.
It gets closer to Niels's ambition of having Unicorn Square, because you're slowly conquering the square.
Yes, exactly. So it was a nice way instead of moving to a new building where we had 2 storage or something like that. Then we could easily do this, and then we'll see about later this year how we will manage.
And still socializing pre-party during the Code Garden days is happening in front of everyone's office.
Yes, exactly. And the other part you probably mentioned, Marcin, is our new office, not here in Denmark, but opening our US office officially last Monday with Andrew head of that. Right now there's 2 people sitting there. So it's due to that we've seen the American market as the 3rd biggest market for quite some years, but also realizing that the potential is so much bigger if we look at the size of the US. So we want to grow that market and engage more with our existing partners, get more partners involved, and create more brand awareness.
And
so an office with
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
Charlotte, North Carolina is the place. It's a WeWork from start because, again, it's flexible. We have an office space with 4 desks at the moment. 2 is occupied. 1st of February, we are probably very soon. I hope I get the news here later today, but we will have another employee, a US partner manager starting up at the office. So there will be 3 people there.
Things are growing.
Yes.
And for everyone who is curious, just follow Andrew or other US representatives on the various social media. And I've seen the office already, and I've seen that they are very happy to start going back to the place which is a gathering place for everyone working there on the great stuff for Umbraco in US. That's awesome.
Finally you have like a physical presence in the US compared to where it was just a phone number and
and it will make a big difference to the US market, no doubt about that, and hopefully it will impact the whole of Umbraco as well. As we grow over there, it'll take things along, the good things along to Umbraco, both community-wise. And Callum, you will probably, or I know you will be involved later this year with a road trip coming up as well.
We'll have more to
hear more about Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's cool. But if we are speaking Umbraco, that might be a good chance to switch to some product releases and stuff around the product, because it also was a great week when it comes to that. We've seen some of the releases of the Umbraco itself, and maybe I can share my screen to relate to it. We also wanted to mention the roadmap, because it was something what was clearly stated during the reception that it's evolving, it's changing. It was even updated this Monday or Tuesday, and we have some more information about what things are being worked on right now and what is going to happen next, which is some of what are really some excited stuff coming here, and what's later. And here it's also the relation to the .NET Core and also new project structure and everything around it. So that's awesome. But what we wanted to mention is Umbraco 8.5 release, and clearly overwritten and quickly overwritten with the 8.5.1, because there was a show-stopping bug discovered inside of the release. Quickly fixed and quickly announced, so everyone who started doing the upgrade to 8.5 was stopped because it was dropped from our end to NuGet really quickly, and right now we are able to upgrade straight to the 8.5.1, and that's good. A lot of changes.
8.5 is the models builder release, isn't it?
Yes,
it's
it
the
is.
requirements for making having models builder kind of directly in core. Like a light version, and also having the option to swap it out for more powerful version, which is Stefan's version he's going to maintain.
Yep. And that's about the product, but we also had some packages releases. Callum, you've been busy releasing some new work items from your side. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, I've created 2 friendly packages, let's call them. The first is called Friendly Robots, and this is you just install it and you have a dynamic robots.txt file there. It's a really nice approach to having robots.txt files. And I've created a similar thing called Friendly Sitemap, which does the same thing, Sitemap XML file. Again, it's just designed to make it as effortless as possible. Install it, get up and running. And in actual fact, I say this is 2 packages, but it's in fact 4, because there's one shared library that's living underneath, which contains a lot of the routing layer and the fancy stuff. And there's another thing, which is the package build mechanism, which I wrote about in 24 days in December, and that's also released now.
Nice.
But yeah, busy.
And something more. Some more packages are coming. You've said you've been also busy doing some other works. So
I've got a few in the pipeline. And yeah,
we are all waiting. And also, I've spent some time doing some reviews, basically, because for one of our Cogworks packages called SiteLock, giving ability to block access to some of the resources by the URLs and IP addresses. A great work done by Anthony in the past was picked by some community people, and exactly by I just to see the correct name of the contributor account. Do you have it somewhere open? Sam Goof. Yeah. Goof was the creator of pull request to let us support Umbraco V8 builds. So big high five for Sam for making the work around it. And right now it's released. The version 0.2 is supported on Umbraco V8, which is amazing, and we are going to use it on our projects as well. The next release updates to
talk about Nathan.
Yes.
Last week, every week we say before we go live, someone is going to release something. Someone is going to release something 2 minutes before live that we really want to talk about. And we always say it's always Kevin Jump. And last week it wasn't Kevin Jump, it was Nathan, who 3 minutes before dropped the bomb of 3 different packages, which is an update to Nesting Contently, Plumber version 2, and also a new one called Pure, which is like a distraction-free editing experience for Umbraco, which I've not had to play with yet, but I like the sound of it. I'll give it a go.
Yeah, we should probably form an award for people who are doing stuff like that. But yeah, great work, Nathan, and I'm also curious to check more about this Pure, because it sounds like something what our editors would love to use in their solutions. And also, Shannon released a new version of Umbraco Identity Package, which is 7.1. Some notes about breaking changes. So for everyone who is going to use Identity Package released by Shannon and supporting other identities, just read it, upgrade, and use the new newly released versions. And that's around releases, at least around the packages. So. A lot of them to come in the next weeks.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some exciting things coming out of HQ as well, right, Anders? Because I believe it was revealed in the New Year reception that we'll be having deploy on premises within Q1.
Yes, and I guess it's not really revealed in our New Year's reception, because I think it's actually listed and written in our roadmap that it will be in Q1.
Nice, but it's happening, definitely.
It is happening. There will be the long-awaited on-premise version of deploy. Yes,
and there's some more really exciting things on the roadmap which were spoken about, such as custom property editors for Heartcore, which is something that a lot of people have said from the start they really, really wanted. That's going to come a bit later, maybe later in the year. And there was a mystery Umbraco Cloud service / feature that was discussed, which is this idea of, Neil said, there'll be something coming towards the end of Q1 that will help people get started building websites on Umbraco Cloud.
Yes. It wasn't really meant as a mystery, but we are looking at. We've had starter kits for a long time in Umbraco, but we also realized that that might not be our best versions of Umbraco, the current starter kits. So we are actually investing a lot of time and efforts in getting a really, really nice and slick one up, using it as a cloud feature, so you can get started. You can use it to build sites with. There's a lot of look and feel, and also we have an idea of how you can build different stuff. I mean, there's a lot of ways of doing the same thing as you are a developer, and you have the freedom, but we would like to have a way of showing how features is meant from our sake of. So it's also a way to show how things is meant to be used.
Exciting. So effectively an HQ supported updated starter kit, and with an easy way to get that up and running on cloud.
Yes, and then it will likely be totally integrated. So when you start up a new plan, then you can choose whether to start from scratch, or you can want to start with this starter kit. I'm not even sure it's going to be called a starter kit, but with this template, and then you can even have sample content.
Awesome.
Nice. That will definitely speed up the creation of some sites and people.
We hope so.
Yeah.
I think the final biggish thing that was revealed was, of course, the roadmap has .NET Core, and that's been in the later section for a long time. We know that Bjarke and his newly formed community team are going to be helping tackle and evolve that project. But it was revealed that the goal is to have a preview / a beta or something for people to see and play with in the second half of 2020.
Yes, and to be honest, I don't know much about that. That's on the very technical side, but as I hear from both Bjarke and also Niels, is that there's a lot more going on than people really think, and forming this new team, a new community thing is also part of it. And as I heard, there's some really, really strong and exciting profiles attending the team.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting time. People are already getting involved on GitHub and contributing to the .NET Core project. People do pull requests. There's issues that are up for grabs. People can get involved in. So yeah, exciting times.
Yep. And if we're talking about it, people are also involved on various discussions and topics around Umbraco, not only directly about Umbraco. And some of our community representatives started something new, which is not directly new, but because it's a podcast. But I don't know, Anders, if you've seen that. It's called Candid Contributions, and it has a really great representation of our community ladies, who are all present on this picture. And there is an episode 0 released this week, and more to come, and it will be about open source in general. But in the first teaser, we all could hear the whole history of gathering girls together and how Umbraco and Umbraco community helped in it. So which was an awesome story to hear. And yeah, we are all looking forward for more, because it will probably spread more words about Umbraco to hopefully bigger audience, and also combine all of the other informations from communities across the globe and help probably became Umbraco even better community inside of those.
They're going to do an episode every 2 weeks. At least that's the goal, which will be really exciting. So we can catch up in a couple of weeks and see what episode 1 actually has in store.
It's great, and we would love to see more women in tech as well. So that's great initiative.
Yeah, exactly. And Callum, you've gathered also some other things in our list of things happened this week. First of all, we can jump back to the.
We also featured Kevin's USync milestone. Last week we were talking about you've hit 1.5 million or something.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
More about numbers. More about numbers.
The more numbers from Kevin. Kevin's hit 10,000 karma points on our Umbraco, which is a big deal. And he says that he's got a ratio of post to karma of 6.43, which is a high ratio.
Yeah, it's a very high ratio, and of course, big high five for this achievement. And it's a lot of points. And there were some other community things like blog posts, and one of those which we wanted to definitely mention is accessibility team meeting, which also happened on 14th. And I was amazed when I saw this board.
Yeah, me too. So this is an accessibility audit of Umbraco 8.4.
Yes.
Everything you see on here is Umbraco 8.4 related, and this is stuff that people can now go away and start contributing and fixing and helping to improve the accessibility of the back office. Incredibly thorough, a really nice piece of work from Danny and the team at Sigma and Mike and everyone involved in the accessibility team. It's incredible.
I would love to see this level of details across all of the projects in which I'm involved in. But yeah, it's very good to see that this team is self-organized and it's getting to the goal really quickly, and that's awesome. So one more big high five. And other blog posts from community. So first of all, the blog post about SSLs, it was from Matt Barlow. So yes. How to add a free SSL certificate to your Umbraco site in 5 minutes. And in this topic, we will have something to share because we are also working on automated steps on Azure DevOps to do the same work for us. So I will hope to share some more details maybe next week. And the second one was coming straight from Outfield Digital. And if we're talking about 2020, every company has their own plans. And it was really great to see the plan so written so clear. And for everyone who is interested, especially probably around the vendor, which is a new e-commerce, not so new, but a new version of the e-commerce engine for Umbraco, and a whole roadmap here. But what teased me the most is the mystery, maybe also not so mystery, but some new package coming from Matt and Outfield Digital in the Q3 of this year. And I don't know what, which is a Fluidity version for V8, but I don't know how about you, Callum, but I've used Fluidity a lot in V7 project.
There's been talk about it being ported to V8 at some point as a big piece of work, so I'm not sure if it'll be that. Let's wait and see.
But also what I wanted to say here is that we had a lot of conversations around the community. Is it the moment to migrate some big packages to V8? And right now, probably no one is even thinking that it's not the moment yet. So everyone is just combining forces and finding time to just do it. So I'm really looking forward to see more of those packages coming. And last but not least, this Saturday, so tomorrow, Umbraco virtual meetup, which will happen virtually. And I've seen some speakers preparing slides. Callum, can you say if you finally started slides? Or?
I am not making slides.
You're not making slides.
Emmanuel's gone and made some incredibly fancy slides.
Yes, I saw that.
Everything on. I was really surprised when I saw that. So I'm not doing. I'm not going to. Sorry.
You will go freestyle as usual.
Yeah.
Cool. It's going to be an amazing, and I will try to jump in, but if not, I will recap the recording. And that's all from our amazing list of things. So right now it's just to execute all of those and wait for things to happen in 2020, right?
Yes.
It's going to be a good year.
It's going to be a good year.
Do you want to add anything else to this list? Did we miss anything from the
No,
stuff?
I think it might be interesting just to know about our code garden, as we mentioned at the last thing in our reception, is that we've never had so many submissions for the call to speakers. I think we received 133 submissions from 102 speakers, and this. Looking at, we have 30 slots, including all the things we want to say from HQ. So we can really pick some great content for Code Garden this year.
Yeah, that's amazing.
This week you gave away a discount, or as Niels described it, we're giving everyone in Norway a free avocado. It was 200 euros off the price just for one day on Monday to Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
Plus, unfortunately, around the Cold Garden this week, the diversity tickets also ended submissions, and if I'm correct, today the Umbraco is supposed to send the people who are awarded by those. So that's all around the event. It's coming. It's really coming. We should visit the website counting down. Is it Cold Garden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really close. It's closer than last year.
This year's going to go very quickly. I have a feeling.
Most definitely. Let the summer come. The spring come.
Or winter. I'm waiting for snow. I'm waiting for snow, and I'm really hoping that this weekend I will see the snow finally, because I'm going snowboarding. So, I hope for snow. So yeah, thanks Anders for joining us and for summing up the reception, and also sharing some other stuff Umbraco related straight from the new great office in Odense.
I'm traveling to visit all next week, so I will be in Charlotte, and I can send you pictures.
Yeah.
Yes, we will love to see that. And yeah, so yeah, enjoy a great weekend, and we will see each other next Friday.
Good.
Thanks.
Pleasure being here.
Bye.